Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S here, finally back with another video. Been procrastinating about making this one, trying to make sure I get it as good as possible. But yeah, I thought I'd just get on with it and just finally get around to part 3. So I hope you enjoy it wherever you are, and I hope some people out there enjoy this video, as with all my videos. And I appreciate your views and likes and shares and all that kind of thing, and support as ever. And for once, I'm having Pepsi rather than tea for this video. But anyway, I'll say this is continuing on from parts 1 and 2. As a big fan of Italian football, I'm a bit strange, I'll admit, that I love all the Italian teams, so I don't really support any particular Italian team. I support them all, really. So I'm probably the only person who does that, but there might be one or two other strange people like me. But yeah, so I'd love to see Italian football have as much investment as possible, just as I said in the description. And also, I got this top actually from Milan when I went. My mum took me rather kindly to a game in Milan. I watched Inter versus Verona, but yes, Verona, that is, sorry. Trying to be as clear as possible. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, where I actually went to the San Siro, and I didn't get this from the San Siro itself, but I did get it from Italy. I don't know if it's real, but anyway, it's what was I going to say? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so at the moment, Inter Milan are struggling financially, so I'd love to see them get wealthy owners, but I'd love to see AC Milan, Juventus, and all the other Italian teams, as well as Celtic, I almost forgot, getting as much investment as possible. Anyway, I think that was enough for the intro, so I'm going to crack on with my list of ideas. As I say, if you haven't checked out parts 1 and 2, please check them out. I know it's very bad of me drinking Pepsi, but it does taste nice, I've got to say, cola beverages. But anyway, so here goes. So as I say, continuing on from part 1 and 2, please check them out if you haven't already done so. I appreciate your views, likes, shares, and all that good stuff. And sorry for any of my viewers who don't like football. I hope you'll still check out my other videos. But yeah, so this is obviously for people who support football, especially Italian football, or football generally. But anyway, here goes. So number 21, I would, again, just to recap some ideas, I'd love to see Italians get free football opportunities, training facilities, football academies, places to play football, spaces for sport, and things like that. Investors coming into Italian football, and yeah, just as much investment as possible to give young people a chance to play football and hopefully practice, so it's developing for the future. And also, I'd love to see young players in senior games to have at least 3 under 21 or even under 20 players, and as many young players as possible in Italian football, but also a mix of that and buying new players. And I'd love to see Italian football be brought back to the glory days, and a big company or big companies can come and invest in. If they could come and invest in Italian football, they could be like the heroes. Yeah, so I'd love to see companies like all around the world, like Walmart and big companies, and if they want to come and invest in Italy to buy land or to build businesses or create businesses in Italy, or have their business in Italy rather, like, so if Walmart, I don't know if they're already in Italy, but if they want to get into Italy and other companies, they could invest in a football club, and maybe the government and the politicians could support them. And I think it'd be great if local councils donated like 10% of their revenue to invest in football pitches, to give opportunities for young Italian footballers or Italians to play football as much as possible, and like in schools and in parks and playgrounds and all over the country. And again, parents encouraging their children to play football, and thinking about how Euro 2020, which was a year late, it was actually in 2021, but it was Euro 2020 technically, how that win gave Italy a great lift. So I think it'd be great to see people investing, excuse me, in Italian football, and like local businesses, Italian businesses investing in Italian football as well. See if we can bring back the glory days to Italian football. So I'd love to see that those investments to compete with the likes of Man City and Chelsea and other English teams and other teams around the world, and become the most competitive league as possible, and maybe like have partnerships with American countries like that, like train with people like train with American teams like from the MLS, or Chinese or Indian teams around the world and all that kind of thing. So having partnerships with those as much as possible, so hopefully building the brand. So those are some of the points I sort of covered a little bit before. So I'd love to also travel to Italy and share my ideas about branding and things like that, and see how good some of them could be. And like my fellow neurodiverse people with dyslexia and ADHD especially, showing what they can do or we can do as someone with minor dyslexia myself, showing what we can do to contribute to Italian football, both by playing and by sharing our ideas and innovation, creative ideas. Number 22. On that note, I'd love to see Italian football develop in the future and look at what new things they can do and how football is modernising and things like that. So I was thinking like Mourinho's gone to manage at Roma, and although I think he does have a good record, and I should probably be careful what I say, but I do have some concerns like about how he is probably an old school manager, and so he's not quite with the new ways of playing football. And sometimes he doesn't play the most attacking football, which I think maybe Italian football is known for being defensive, but maybe could become more attacking and also enterprising and entertaining. I think that's the way maybe Italian football should go, to be like the Premier League, and maybe, although because Italy is a bit warmer than England, I suppose that's why they play at a slower pace. But maybe we should look into how to play more attacking football, whereas Mourinho takes football a bit more backwards, perhaps, in terms of like Italian football going back to defensive football. Also, he doesn't play young players enough, I think, and another thing is he divides dressing rooms and things like that. So I think it would be good to see managers coming with new ideas and look how they can unite the dressing room, play younger players, and eventually look at how to win games, but also play attractive football like Atalanta or teams like that. So basically looking to the future, and again looking at new ways to bring in investment as well, new ideas that could be shared. So sharing those ideas and like listening to each other a bit more about ideas and incorporating different ideas rather than the same ideas that were in the past. So looking how Italian football can adapt to the future, to look into the future. Number 23, again, I think it'd be great to see as much investment and sponsorship. I think it'd be great to see the government offering tax exemptions. Excuse me. And again, look at how to bring in investment from companies around the world, including from Italy itself, but also from around the world, like from America, China, India, some of the Arab states, people like M.K.S, Mohammed bin Salman, and the PIF, Public Investment Fund from Saudi Arabia, maybe Qataris and people like that. Maybe even look at how to help Arabs to unite together and invest it. And part of that could be when they unite together, they could work together, investing in Italian football included, as well as Celtic perhaps as well. And look at ways, again, tax incentives, and also just general financial incentives. Again, like if people want to invest in like local land or property or businesses in Italy, one way to get into Italy maybe to invest in a football team, and if they do that, they could get tax incentives. They could use it for their PR, and they could get more access to other Italian businesses, and that will encourage people to want to invest in Italy more and invest in football, and that will help to develop. Again, that will bring a good feeling, like confidence as well. So I think it'd be great as well if Italians valued football even more than perhaps making money or things like that. But yeah, so I think it'd be great to see financial incentives and investing in academies and looking at those investments in the youth and how that could create such a good feeling. Number 24. I think it'd be great also if Italy could use football as a way to create diplomacy, to improve relations with the rest of the world through football, like with China, India, all of Asia especially, and America, but also just the rest of the world as much as possible to improve relations, and maybe in the future go and train with people. I know Italian football already does that in China. Maybe it could do in India and other parts of Asia as well, and countries that are trying to develop their football teams. It's good practice with Italians and things like that. So Italy using its history of historical success to make more success in the future, like build that momentum, like the 4 World Cups and the 2 Euros, and how Serie A used to be such a strong league. And also, I think it'd be great to see Italians come together, as I've mentioned before. Like, I think when they play against each other, they should be rivals, of course, and do their best. But at the same time, when Italian teams play against non-Italian teams, I think they should always support each other, or even other Mediterranean teams when they're playing non-Mediterranean teams. So I'd love to see Eurasian nations, transcontinental countries generally, the Mid-East and the Mediterranean get on better through politics and football and things like that. Number 25, I think it would also be good if Italy improved relations with other republics and maybe have things like the Republic Cup or things like that, and worked with FIFA and UEFA to make those sort of competitions. But hopefully they'll be mainly of benefit to Italian football as well as FIFA and UEFA, and also cut out corruption and things like that through football, through practicing and things like that. So we would be victorious not through cheating but through superior football practices. I hope that makes sense. So we wouldn't need to cheat because we practice much more and be better that way rather than through cheating. I hope that made sense, I say. And number 26, I think it'd be great to see Italian football give back to some of the countries that Italy colonized, like Ethiopia, Tunisia, Eritrea, and other parts that used to be part of the Roman Empire and things like that. So donating to those countries' businesses and things like that. Number 27, I think it'd be great to see it at the Italian Football Wall of Fame, Hall of Fame, and Walk of Fame, so that they honour the people who have contributed, whether that's politicians sponsoring Italian football teams or local businesses or overseas businesses. There could be different categories, like the best overseas managers who have won the Champions League with an Italian team, or any other competition like the Europa League or the World Club Cup or things like that. So what I said about Mourinho before, he did manage to win a Champions League and things like that. So I think, and took Inter to the World Club Cup. So I think Inter had a different manager at that time, but he managed to win the World Club Cup. So I think he should be honoured as well. So that overseas managers as well as local managers being honoured. It could be like, excuse me, the best overseas manager, the best overseas players, and also the best Italian managers and players, the best youngest players, and the best coaches of young players, and things like that. So there could be different categories to honour, to encourage people to and make them into heroes, so they can feel good about, and that encourages more people to want to get involved in Italian football, hopefully, as well as investing in it, like as coaches and managers and things like that. Number 28, I think it'd be great if, just as Italy did with the Euros, when we came back from like failing to even qualify for the World Cup, let alone win it, in 2018, like how it's turned things around. Hopefully, the club team levels will start to be better now as well. I forgot to say in part 23 that I would love to see Italian football do a lot for charities. I'd love Italian football to have I have this mad dream about Italian football, the Italian Football League being like £1 trillion league, $1 trillion or even £1 trillion league. But at the same time, I think they should donate like 10% of the profits of Serie A, or even each club donate 10% to help homeless people and disadvantaged people and disabled people around the world as well, as much as possible. I think they should anyway. And also develop young players to have good morals, as well as becoming the best footballers they can be, like to obey the law, to condemn violence, and just have good principles through football. Like if you're violent on the football pitch, obviously you give away free kicks and things like that. So I know a lot of people talk about like being able to stand up for yourself on a football pitch, or having that they see it as part of tenacity or whatever, but they see that you should kick players back or whatever, or fight players. But I think if you do that, like you give away a lot of yellow cards as well as free kicks and things like that, or even red cards. So I think it'd be good to see like good discipline, but I suppose you should have enough strength just to protect yourself. Number 29, I'd love to see my fellow Anglo-Indians and others supporting Italian football in the game, like spreading the improving the reputation and brand of Italian football, marketing and all that sort of thing around the world. And number 30, again, I would love to go to Italy and share my ideas, and maybe I may even have more ideas that I can develop, and I may have forgotten a few points. And again, I'd love to hear it from other people's ideas. And sorry if this video was a bit long. It's gone. I did intend for it to be about 10 minutes long, so it's gone a bit over, because I do my videos live and I had a few ideas, and a few I had to I forgot, and then I added a bit later. I sometimes run over the time I planned. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and again, I would love to hear your ideas, and hopefully it wasn't too cringeworthy, but I did think I would finally get around to it. Maybe I should be a bit more patient and wait until tomorrow. But anyway, I've done it now. So again, hope you enjoy it, and I hope Italian football will do it as well as possible. I'm out. Peace and love.